What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are having a wonderful day and wonderful weekend so far. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different, mix it up some, do something fun, something I've been personally wanting to do for such a long time now, but I just really haven't had the chance to do so. But today is the day. I'm going to go ahead and do it today and get it kicked off in just a sec. But, I just wanted to do this and get you guys' opinions on where you guys think these characters would kind of land. But of course, we're going to try to keep it civil and stuff too. Try to keep it civil in the comments if you guys think that a character deserves to be in a different spot of where I place them. At the end of the day, this is a tier list that I'm making, based on my opinions and stuff. If your opinion differs, then that's totally fine, and this thing is available for you guys to do for yourself as well. So feel free to do so for yourself if you guys feel like you guys want to do that. Just as a heads up, before we do get this thing actually kicked off, I'm going to be putting these characters in their places of where I actually believe that they belong in, and then I'm going to be giving my reasonings as to why I believe that they belong in those certain spots. Just kind of giving you guys a snippet into my mindset as to why I'm putting these characters in these certain places, and not just short and sweet, like, oh, this person here, this person there. It's not like super interesting, at least at the end of the day there. But yeah, let's get it kicked off and started. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with some of the lesser known characters, the ones that we don't see too often, just to kind of get them out of the way. And let's kick it off with this guy. His name is Yosuke, I believe, that we've only seen like for not too long, but the brief time that we really got to see the dude, we kind of got a good gauge on what kind of person this guy is. He's a fucking asshole. Sorry for my language there, but yeah, he's really not that great of a person. At the end of the day, what happened with him was he was interested in her. She didn't want to be with the dude, and Sakata and Koga were kind of playing it up as if they were doing their whole relationship thing, pretending to be in a relationship. He got pissed off at that, and this guy took it upon himself to kind of start rumors around school saying that Koga was a slut and stuff to try to get back at her, and saying that she has sex with Sakata all the time and everything, which was definitely far from the truth. None of them are doing that kind of stuff. So Sakata definitely put that dude in his place, very much well deserved, because that, like I said, that guy is an asshole. But yeah, starting off hot with this dude in the trash section. All right, let's kick it off with the next one. This one I want to do because I feel like it's going to be a little bit different from what most people would say. We're going to do Kamisato. And I know most people would think that Kamisato would be straight to the trash, throw her in the dumpster because, she's just a fucking asshole too, kind of, for the most part, to Sakata, at least most of the time that we kind of see interactions and stuff with her and Sakata. But there are some bright spots to her that I've seen, at least. I know a lot of people don't really like her, but I see some bright spots in a sense to her. She can be kind of overbearing and, like very much so, an asshole, and I'm trying to think of the word for it, superficial or whatever. She cares a lot about herself. She's selfish and cares about her popularity and her well-being. At the end of the day, she wants to get Kunimi away from Sakata so it doesn't look bad on him, and then therefore making her look bad and things of that nature. But like I said, there's some bright spots. Like, example one that I'll throw out there is when the whole stuff with Rio Futaba was going on, when she was doing all the stuff like taking pictures of herself, like provocative things, and like trying to take sexy pictures and putting them online, possibly putting herself in danger, and doing just that stuff in general is just not what the normal like Rio Futaba would end up doing. Like I said, it ended up kind of putting her in a scary situation. When people were like, "Oh, where are you?" and like guys are getting like creepy, or people were getting creepy with her and stuff. And Kamisato, she ended up coming to Sakata and telling him about it. She may not have seemed the happiest that she had to go and interact with Sakata, but at the end of the day, she did go and she did tell him about it. If I had a friend that was doing stuff like that and putting themselves in that situation and doing something that wasn't necessarily good for them, and somebody came and told me, even though it might not be somebody I'm not on the best of terms with, if they came and told me about that, let me know about it, I'd be grateful at the end of the day, because that is, it's important. If something like that was happening and I just never find out, that person might end up getting hurt, and I definitely don't want that to happen to a friend. And the fact that she came and told Sakata about it, it is very much gratefully appreciated, I'm sure, by Sakata, because it let him know about it so he can take action and go and try to figure out what was going on with Futaba. So like I said, bright spot there. Another bright spot, like I remember at one point Kunimi kind of called her over to have her talk about her brother or no, her sister at some point. Try to give some like sibling information and stuff that was going on because Sakata was trying to deal with the whole Nadaka and Mai Sakurajima situation where they were kind of butting heads a little bit and getting her perspective on it because she has a sister, an older sister, and they kind of butt heads too a little bit and trying to get her perspective on it just some. And she cooperated, she was fine in that sense. So like I said, not too bad, not terrible. I'm gonna throw her in the D section. She is not going in trash. She could be like selfish and superficial and all this kind of stuff, but like I said, I see bright spots in her in some fashion too. So I'm throwing her in D and not straight to the trash. All right, next up is Mai Sakurajima's mom. I know we didn't really see too much of her, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump onto this. And I'm going to stick her right in the trash section. So, we didn't see a whole lot of Mai Sakurajima's mom. We saw her a decent deal or whatever a couple of times in the beginning of the story when we had Mai Sakurajima's arc and everything, where she was going through her adolescent syndrome with her disappearing and whatnot. And then as well, like with her, forgetting that wasn't really her fault, but still the stuff that did happen prior to that when she was younger, trying to take advantage of her and using her and stuff and, doing stuff without Mai Sakurajima's consent, Mai very well or very much so stressing that she didn't want to do certain type of things and stuff like that when it came to her modeling or like the like actress stuff and advertisement things, and her mom against her will made her do it and sign contracts and stuff to make her actually go ahead and do that stuff and like model and stuff in swimsuits for advertisements and everything, and that's not what Mai wanted to do. She doesn't want to do things of that nature, and the fact that her mom was just like, no, like you're going to do it anyways. She was pretty much forced to because she signed contracts for her and she's her legal guardian at the end of the day, so she had pretty much no choice but to do that kind of stuff, and that's why Mai just really stopped talking to her for a good deal of time there. And then I remember in the Bunny Girl Senpai movie, the Dreaming Girl movie, she was of course very very sad that her daughter like at that time in the movie passed away, but of course, that's her daughter. She cares for her and stuff, and that's gonna happen. That's just a natural reaction. And of course, unfortunate situation and just awful. So of course, she was crying and stuff, and that shows that she does care for her. But that was very extreme circumstances, and most people you would think would react in that kind of way. But when she was alive and she was with her as a child again, she very much took advantage of her and did some scummy stuff and stuff without my consent and everything. I think she's a shitty mom. I'm throwing her in the trash. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the next one. So I'm gonna go with Yuma here, Kunimi. So Kunimi is I really like Kunimi. Kunimi is such a cool character. He'd be like such a cool best friend to have in real life. He's super helpful, always there for his friends and stuff. Just like for example, when he like dropped everything for Futaba and ended up taking off to go to the convenience store that they were at over there for Sakata and Rio Futaba because she was having a tough time or whatever. And then just showing that he does care and that he just drop everything to go help his friends, showing that he wants to help Sakata, showing that he cares for him, visiting him when in his time of need and stuff. And then as well as other things too when it came to him sticking up for Sakata, not believing all of those little lies and stuff that were spreading around the rumors around school and everything, not being gullible and just following the crowd and things of that nature when it came to people spreading rumors about Sakata and about the whole incident and stuff, the hospitalization. He, went and talked to Sakata. He went up to Sakata and ended up speaking to him and asking him if that stuff was actually true. And of course, he didn't really believe it because he has some common sense and kind of has that awareness of this stuff may not be actually true. It's just rumors that just go around school and stuff as they do, unfortunately. And like I said, he's a really good friend to Sakata. I love his interactions with him. He's super funny. He's super witty like Sakata is, and he keeps it interesting and stuff when they have dialogue and everything between each other or just Kunimi in general. One thing is that I don't care for his taste in who he selected as a girlfriend because she's just kind of not that great of a person, doing shitty things and talking crap about his best friend that she very knows well is his best friend and stuff. That's one thing that I'd say like is not like that great about Kunimi is that he doesn't just kind of kick her off to the side even though because she's disrespecting one of his best friends like that pretty consistently. But I'm sure that he's, in the background or whatever, off screen, trying to talk her, out of it, or trying to, try to bring some sense to her mind to make it so she's not such a crazy, not so great person. But yeah, like I said, I really like Kunimi. He's an awesome character. He's really cool, really funny. Yeah, I wish that more people would have good friends like this dude. So I'm gonna throw him in the A tier for now. I wouldn't say he's S tier yet because we don't see, we've only seen some scenes with him. He's not like a super main character or anything. So I'm throwing him in A tier for now. We'll go ahead and jump over to Nadaka. So Nadaka, man, I'm like hit or miss with her. She is kind of annoying. Man, yeah, throughout the anime, I was really annoyed by her just because of how she's very tsundere and she's just always talking shit to Sakata, and then there's other things that I can't even remember off the top of my head, but oh yeah, because of all the stuff that was happening and her jealousy and everything, and I know it's not an easy thing to deal with when it comes to her mom being proud of her, but it was really Mai Sakurajima because she did such great work in the concert and stuff for Sweet Bullet and everything when they ended up doing it, and she got like her own feature or whatever after that time that happened, and then she like went off and like tried to like kill herself even though she was in Mai's body. So that's such a selfish thing to do when, you're in your sister's body and you're pretty much going to try to kill your sister. Like you're trying to kill yourself, but at the same time you're trying to kill your sister because whose body is going to be, like gone at the end of the day? Whose body are you in currently that you're trying to destroy or just like get rid of or whatever because you're trying to kill yourself? It's your sister's, it's mine. So that's not your body that you're doing it to. You're doing it to hers and trying to harm her body there. I thought that was a really selfish and dumb thing to do. Thank God Sakata kind of, try to talk some sense into her and made her stop doing that stuff. There's some good sides to her. She helps Sakata and tries to talk to him and everything, talk some sense into him when he has some things going on. Like I remember when he forgot Mai Sakurajima's birthday and she was down. I'm like, yo, you're dumb. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, how could you not know that? Or some other things. She does help. She is a good person underneath all of that kind of like teen angst or whatever you want to call it. Teen I guess emotions and stuff that she's going through at the moment, and just sister jealousy and all those different things, and just tsundere vibes and everything that she kind of gives off and interacts with Sakata with and stuff. So yeah, she's a good person under those things, but I'm gonna throw her in. I almost wanted to throw her in the D tier, but she's not as bad as Kamisato. But yeah, I'm throwing her in the C tier here. All right, let's go over to. I want to go over to Shoko. So we got the young Shoko, and then we got the older Shoko. So I'm gonna throw the young Shoko in an A tier, because she's such a sweet kid. She's super helpful, and she's always going to Sakata's house and hanging out with Kaide. Becoming one of like Kaide's friends and stuff, hanging out with the cat and everything. And then at the end of the day, she was just such a super strong fighter, like such a trooper, and man, like she was getting put through the ringer with everything that she had to go through. Knowing that she wasn't really like going to live a long life at the end of the day, and trying to come to grasps with that is such a damn tough thing to do. When they would have school activities and things like that, saying like, hey, what do you want to do when you get older? She was really like not sure what she wanted to do or if she should fill it out or whatever, because she knew that she wouldn't live up until that point. At least at the time, that's what she believed, because that's like kind of the reality of the situation she was in at that time. Thank God it shifted ways, and she's alive now and everything, and she got the transplant and stuff. But man, she was such a strong fighter and stuff through all of that, and just everything she went through, all the pain and like all the scares and stuff that she went through. Man, it's just such a tough thing to that ended up happening there. I kind of want to throw her in an S tier, but I feel like we didn't like. I know we got the movie, but I feel like we didn't see her like as much as what some of the S tier characters that I'm gonna throw in there are at. But I mean, I might honestly do it though. I might keep her in A for right now. Maybe I'll change my mind and switch that little Shoko one. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do older Shoko now, just as fit there because I just did little Shoko. The older Shoko, I want to go ahead and I'm gonna throw her in. Oh, fuck, I don't know where to put her. Damn it, because I have Little Shoko. I might just throw Little Shoko in the top tier. Ah, damn it, I don't know where to put. That's kind of tough. Shit. I don't know. I kind of want to keep her in A just because I don't. She's not one of my favorite characters, but uh, I guess I'll keep her in A because she's one of my favorites, but not like my top tier favorites. But okay, Big Shoko. Let's get on topic and do Big Shoko. I want to put Big Shoko. Fuck, I don't know. I want to put her in A, but then I kind of want to put her in B at the same time. This one's tough just because I have some gripes with Big Shoko to some extent. I know she did some good, did a lot of good, and she cares, of course, and everything. But man, before I even slot her anywhere, like I know she did a lot of good, and she came in and like wanted to warn Sakata of the things that were gonna happen in the future and stuff with the accident, him passing away and everything, unfortunately, and then the transplant and stuff. Him ending up having his heart getting transplanted to Shoko to where she ends up getting to live and stuff, and she doesn't end up passing away and stuff. How things are gonna end up turning out. That was good that she warned him of that stuff, but the way that she went about it wasn't the greatest thing. And I know that she loved him because of her interactions with him and because of her having his heart and everything, but the way that she went about it wasn't great. She knew that Mai Sakurajima was Sakata's girlfriend, and yet she still went and like instigated, or I'm trying to think of the phrase for it, just went in there and did things to the point of making it trying to cause a conflict between Sakata and Mai Sakurajima, or Mai Sakurajima and Shoko herself, because she loves him and she, I guess wanted to fight for him, or like wanted to, still be with Sakata, but of course, she had to go through an obstacle of Mai Sakurajima. Um, like I said, it's not a great situation because she's like, kind of actively at that point, maybe like trying to break them up and trying to cause a stir of conflict to make their relationship have a tear in it or whatever, or try to make it have troubles and stuff. I didn't really like that part of her, so I might put her in a B. She did some great things, like I said. But I might put older Shoko in a B just because of that situation there. I kind of want to throw her in A still, but I don't know. I think I want to keep her in B. Like I said, this stuff can shuffle. Like I might at the end of the day, like once I put some more characters in there, I might mix it around a little bit, maybe because I'm like shift someone that I'm thinking of changing or something. But yeah, let's continue here. Next one I'm gonna throw in is Koga. So Koga, I'm putting in B tier. Uh, that the fact that I'm putting her in B tier is make me kind of want to move Shoko up to A. At least Big Shoko up to A. But man, yeah, it's Tomoe Koga. I really like her character, but there's, of course, like she's really cool and she helps out Sakata, and she makes some progress at the end of the day before when she was really like worried about her friends and what they really thought of her, and she like worried too much about what people thought of her and everything at the end of the day. But she did make some progress with it by being around Sakata and seeing how he is, where he doesn't really care about what other people think. He's doing what he thinks is right and just, like doing stuff that how he does it and stuff. And I think that kind of rubbed off on her a little bit at the end of that arc there. She is a little bit tsundere with Sakata too, but I remember at one point like Sakata was trying to get somebody to see him or to hear him out about Mai or something along those lines. I think it was like actually like see him. I'm pretty sure it was. I think yeah, that was in the Dreaming Girl movie when people weren't able to see him at that time, I think, and she was the only one that was able to see him, and she helped him out in that situation, which I thought was really cool. But again, at the end of the day, she did things that weren't so great. Having him pretend to be her boyfriend and stuff because of the fact that she didn't want Yosuke to ask her out or whatever, and it lingered on a lot longer than what Sakata really wanted it to kind of go on for. And yeah, that kind of stuff happened, and just because she couldn't have the confidence or whatever to just tell him no. And then of course at the end of it and stuff, and after the adolescent syndrome kind of broke and it was kind of resolved and stuff, she did end up telling him no, but it took all of that, and then at the end of the day too, like she was kind of selfish in the way of like never wanting to leave that loop that they were in too, where they were replaying the entire day that they had where they went on that date. That was another like not so great thing too, and didn't want to admit that she was in love with Sakata, and it kind of just forced them both to just replay that day over and over and over again, lying to Sakata, telling him like, "Oh no, like I don't know what you're talking about," when he confronted her about the day repeating and asking her if she knew about it or if she was experiencing the same thing. But he was pretty much aware that she was aware of the situation too. It's just that she was just lying about it and stuff, and that's why he confronted her at that one point at the end of the kind of arc with Koga there, where she started crying and stuff. But I think she was a cool character, and I love that she really did open up at the end of it and admitted it that she did love him and kind of let all of her emotions out and stuff. I thought that was like a really, really great scene. Sorry if my explanations or my reasonings are a little long-winded or just a little bit drawn out, I would say. I just like the series so much, and I like talking about the characters. And sometimes I'm conflicted on where there are some good things about them and then some bad things. I'm like, oh damn, they did some really good stuff, but then they did some bad stuff. Like, where should I put this person? So that's just some perspective, I guess, as to why I'm talking about them so much. Sorry about that again, but yeah, we're gonna continue. We're in I guess, the top four of characters that I would say. So let's go with Rio Futaba next. So I'm gonna throw Rio Futaba in the S tier. I'm not sure if people really have her in that high of a tier, but I'm throwing her top tier for right now, just because she's such a good friend to Sakata, and just her other friends, with Kunimi and everything too. I know she had her faults and stuff with the adolescent syndrome that she had going on, but she is such a good friend, like I said, to him, because she's willing to take his phone calls late at night and try to listen up and hear him out with his troubles that he's going through and stuff with adolescent syndrome, giving her perspective on what she thinks is really happening with it on multiple occasions across multiple different adolescent syndrome issues with multiple different people. He's her go-to for that kind of stuff, and even though, like I said, she's a little bit cold to him in those situations, she's still gonna help her friend, and she does love her friends, and she cares about them, and she shows it in multiple different situations. I appreciate it, and I'm sure Sakata appreciates the fact that she does so much for him when he's having these kind of obstacles that he has to really kind of navigate through and stuff. Yeah, which is super helpful and stuff on his side. So yeah, I have Rio Futaba up in the top tier, our first one of the day. And let's go into the next one, which is going to be Kaide. I'm sorry, she's going in S tier, top tier again. She's such a like sweet little sister and everything. I mean, like, this is kind of based on what we've seen in the anime. I'm basing a lot of this really on, not so much like the light novels that we kind of get into in future content and stuff. For Kaide in the anime, she was such a good character. She was so wholesome and such a good sister. Like I said, she had to go through all those troubles and stuff of what happened in school and all the traumatic things that happened there, and try to work her way to try to go outside and try to be normal again. And she fought so hard for that stuff, and that stuff wasn't easy. Like you saw that the toll that it took. If you've seen the anime, you saw the toll it took on her for every little step that it took to try to get better or to try to progress, and to the point where she can go outside, and to the point where she's trying to do that stuff not just for herself but to help Sakata. She saw that point or heard some conversation or something like that. I can't remember what method it was in, but she wants Sakata to be able to live on his own one day and not just have to take care of her for the rest of her life at that point before she regained her memories back. So that's why she was taking those steps to try to get better, to try to get back to normalcy, so she can be normal and not have to depend on him so much, and he won't have to take care of her for the rest of her life, and he can just live a normal life with Mai Sakurajima or something like that. And yeah, so it's just a bunch of different stuff, just the fact that she loves pandas, all the stuff that happened with her character, and just her regaining her memories, and the stuff that she wrote down and left a note for him. I'm pretty sure it was just like her diary, like notebook thing or whatever. But man, just that stuff just pulls at your heartstrings, and the fact that Sakata like bawled his eyes out, her memories were just regained at that point, and he wasn't gonna have the same sister anymore at that point, was just it tells you how much he loved her and how great of a sister and how much he cared for her. At least that side of her and everything too. We haven't seen a ton, at least in the anime, of Kaede, post, gaining her memories back and stuff. But we've seen some, but not a whole lot. But this is Panda Kaede here, So I'm kind of basing it off of that in a lot of what we saw in the anime of this version of Kaede, or just Kaede in general, because this is the majority of what we really saw. But yeah, I have her in S tier for sure. And then we're just gonna kick it off and just throw these two here because God knows, like I'm not gonna throw them in anything lower than top tier because my God, they're just fantastic characters. Both of them, I love them. I'm gonna start off with Sakata, I guess. So Sakata is just such a great character, man. I love. He's one of my favorite characters in anime just because of how straight up the dude is. Even though some of the stuff that he can say is just a little bit, it can be a little bit much, but he speaks his mind. And it was at the time when I was watching anime and I watched this anime, it was such a breath of fresh air because you're so used to, these types of shows where it can get a little bit romancy or like rom-com-ish, has some rom-com vibes to it in this anime. But in different shows like that, some of the characters can be really dense, not know a whole lot of what's going on, or just be too scared to really speak their mind, or I don't know, just kind of hair, or just those protagonists and stuff that you would see that just aren't super outspoken, or just let things just kind of happen, people push them around or whatever. And Sakata is very much not like that. He fights for what he wants or fights for what he believes is right. Jumps through hoops for so many different people. All the, like almost every arc is just pretty much him just jumping through hoops to help somebody, at the end of the day. And it just shows and is a testament to what type of person he is. Trying to figure out what's going on with these people, trying to help them, finding, making new friends, all these people. Like he's such a likable character, even though, sometimes I guess he can be a little bit vulgar or whatever, and or just talk a little bit more dirty than what you would want them to or whatever, or want him to. But these girls and stuff that he helps are driven to him because he's such a good person and helps them out and is a good person to talk to and stuff. And really, he's just super helpful. Not just in the sense of just like helping them without adolescent syndrome, but just with talking to them in general and stuff. And yeah, he helps out Kaide a ton. He's taking care of his sister right now when his mom and dad are not there. He's pretty much like the provider in some sense to it. I know his dad provides him money and stuff to be able to do everything and pay for things and stuff too, but he still pulls his weight and works at the job, going to school, taking care of Kaide, playing kind of like parent-ish role in some fashion. I know like he's her big brother and stuff, but still like trying to teach her some certain things and stuff because her parents aren't there. So he's got to do some of that teaching and stuff and take on at least a little bit of that kind of role in some way. So he's got to do that stuff on top of everything else that he's kind of dealing with. So and on top of that, he's such a funny dude. I just love it. All like whenever he's speaking to somebody, it's always an interesting conversation. It just keeps me engaged, and I just love that type of vibe and that type of show that can keep me engaged when it's not just a whole bunch of fighting or something like in shonens or something. If you can keep me engaged because your conversations and your dialogue is so funny or witty and just engaging, like it's just I love shows like that like so much. It's so great. One example I can think that does it as well is Odd Taxi is a good example. The Monogatari series is another example of that kind of style too. Oregairu is another example of that. I love those shows all in their respective ways. I just love shows that can do that and keep me engaged because their characters are just so well built and well written and stuff. So that's why I love Sakata, and he's one of my favorite MCs, and that's why he's in the top tier. And I'm gonna go ahead and move over to my Sakajima before I keep fanboying over Sakata. Yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and fanboy over my Sakajima now, just because she is best girl. She is gorgeous, and she is just one of the she's so cool. She's super helpful. She does the best that she can with what she's got going on and stuff. She's the lead. She's self-aware in some things that she does that might not be the best thing. Like there's some situations where she is a little bit cold to Sakata, or she's not doing the best on being like a girlfriend or something, but she's very self-aware in the fact that she's like, oh, I know I haven't been doing this that much, or I haven't seen you that much, and I haven't been spending that much time with you, so let's go do this. I'm cutting off early of what I'm doing with my acting stuff or whatever a little bit to come and try to make up for it in some fashion, or she at least puts in some effort in that way. Then is also helping Sakata and helping Kaide, being a good friend for Kaide and stuff, and everything too. She's one of like the first people that Kaide kind of came out to actually out of being shy with and everything, because she was one of the first people that Sakata really like brought home and stuff too. But the fact that she looks out for Kaede and she looks out for Sakata all the time and helping him and trying to help him study, and like not wanting him to hurt himself during Mai's arc and stuff when he was falling, like trying to keep himself up. She was like very selfless in the fact that she was like, I don't want you to keep doing that just for the sake of myself, to keep me existing, at least in your head, or at least for you. Like, if this is the way that it's going to play out and I'm going to have to, just be non-existent to people anymore, then that's going to be it, so be it. She doesn't want him to hurt himself for her sake and stuff. So, that's why she did what she did and gave him like those whatever, like slipped in those like sleepy pills or whatever for him to end up falling asleep and get some actual rest and stop hurting himself like that. So she did things like that. The fact that she risked her damn life to save the dude and died at one point in that moment, to save Sakata because she loves him that much. At that one point when she tells Sakata, I love you more than what you really think that I do and stuff, and Sakata's like, no, like I love you more or whatever. But like when she said that in that moment, and then it definitely translates to, of course, that moment when she does end up pushing him out of the way, risking her life, and then end up dying for the dude. It is just like a testament to how much she does actually care for him and how much she did actually love the guy. Yeah, I just think that Mai Sakushima is amazing. She's super cool, talented at everything that she does, super freaking smart, super famous actress, and the fact that she was able to pick up the sweet bullet stuff when she was in Nadaka's body like that. And I mean, it took a lot of hard work and everything, but still, like, she killed it. She learned it, worked hard at it, and freaking killed it, and got the feature and stuff in the sweet bullet group for Nadaka. When that stuff did end up happening, she's just, jack of all trades. She's got it going on and everything. So yeah, Mai Sakutajima is freaking best girl. And she will continue to be best girl even when future content ends up coming out, more so with the light novels and more so with the anime when it does, adapt some of that future content too. So that's my tier list. That's what I got going on here. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do some last second shifts or whatever for some of the ones that I was kind of like on the kind of fence with. I might put Shoko, Big Shoko. Oh, man, I kind of want to put Big Shoko in A, and I might. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm putting Big Shoko in A. I gotta do it. I feel weird putting her in B and having her on like the same level as Koga. Um, Damn it. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm really indecisive on this one, on Shoko, the big Shoko. I'm not sure where I should have her. Also with Shoko, she kind of puts Sakata in this weird, like unfair kind of situation where, when she does let him know about the situation of, when he originally passes away in that timeline that she's from and stuff, and that's why she's alive, because the transplant happened from his heart to her heart, or to her body, so she can live and everything. She pretty much indirectly tells him, and makes him feel bad in the way of him knowing damn well that if he chooses to live, with this information that he has now, he can avoid that situation and stay away from that place and not die. But him doing that and choosing to stay alive and staying with Mai Sakurajima and having, probably a normal, happy life, would lead to Shoko dying. And it puts him in that awkward, just awful, decision situation, and just making him feel bad because he's like, man, if I decide to choose my own life, I'm ending somebody else's. And he's too good of a person to just kind of let that slide. And, that's why he ends up going to that place to end up, kind of seeking out death in a little bit of a way. He wants her to live. And that was just kind of she brings it up in such a weird way that kind of makes him feel that way of like, hey, that if you decide to live, I'm gonna end up dying or something. Those aren't her words exactly, but the way that she presents it kind of puts that in his head, and that's why he's thinking it in that way. But yeah, it was just a weird situation. I don't like the way that she kind of put him in that situation and set him up for that kind of feeling and everything too. But at the end of the day, she did make up for it. When Mai Sakurajima did end up passing away, unfortunately, if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't be back alive. They wouldn't have gone, to kind of do that redo or whatever and stuff, and she wouldn't be alive at the end of the day. So she did make up for it by helping him there, and she did come to terms with dying because before it seemed like she, of course, she didn't want to die. She wanted to keep living and stuff. But when she did decide that she was going to help Sakata, and the leading of her helping him would lead to her not getting the transplant from him, she came to terms with that being a thing and with her going to end up dying at the end of the day there. So she did come to terms with it, like I said, which is very, very good. So I'll probably, just because of that, I'll stick her in an A tier because she made up for it very much so. Yeah, we'll just kind of have it at that. So yeah, again, this is my tier list of what I guess this is the finished product of it. So we got Rio Futaba, we got Kaede, we got Sakata, we got Mai Sakatajima, of course, in the top tier as they rightfully belong. Again, if you guys believe that they belong somewhere else, let me know down in the comments below. But again, try to keep it civil because don't get too crazy about this. This is just my opinions on this stuff. We got A tier here. We got Kunimi, Shoko, Little Shoko, and then Big Shoko we got in the A tier section. Then we got Koga, Tomoe in the B tier. Solid, respectable, not too bad there. Pretty damn good character. And then we got C tier for Nadaka. She's on the cusp. She's a little annoying. I don't know, man. Like I see some good in her and she does some good, but she has some questionable moments for sure. And then we got D tier. We got Kamisato, and she's just there. Like I said, she has some little bright spots that I see. She has some potential to be a not so like shitty character as much as she is. Maybe in the light novels they'll put some bright spots on her even more so, and she'll grow and she'll have some character progression and character development. So she's not so bad of a character, or at least an asshole. And then we got the trash characters here. I don't see any coming back for Yosuke on this one. I doubt we'll ever see that dude again, probably in the story. And then we got Mai Sakurajima's mom. Most likely we'll see her at some point again in the story, but yeah, like from the stuff that we've seen from her, she's a pretty damn fucking shitty mom, and yeah, she's in the Trash Coon tier. So that's all I got here for my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my freaking rambles and everything, my long-winded answers and all this stuff. I'm sorry if they were too long of my explanations and my reasonings as to why these characters I believe belong where they are currently slotted at, but I had a lot of fun with it, kind of mulling it over in my head and thinking where do these characters belong. And just kind of giving my thoughts on the characters in general and how much I love them, and just kind of going back and forth a little bit on going with their faults and stuff of what they have going on, some bad things they did, and maybe and a lot of the good things that they did at the end of the day too. So again, I had a lot of fun with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video too. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And this is something a little bit different that I wanted to do, and I had, like I said, I had a good time with it. So give the video a like if you guys can. Helps out a bunch. Helps the channel grow, helps a little bit more visibility and stuff too. Subscribe to the channel too if you guys have not already, and hit that bell notification too to get notified for whenever I do upload a video. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day and weekend, and I'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye bye.